Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Angel over here. So, just did the little intro video. A little nervous, but we got through it. I'm on my way to the airport. Gonna get to work. However, I did want to cover a couple of the different little tad bits about starting your garage. So, as you're starting, you're gonna start realizing that there's a lot of information out there. And there's a lot of people that are really smart, that are really good at what they do, and they're professionals. They're the best of the best, and they have hundreds and thousands of followers, and I learned from them. Honestly, I mean, I would not have been able to get even to where I'm at now, which is not too far, but by not listening to them, watching their videos, putting it on replay. But I'm going to give you some little pointers here on what I would do 100% of the time. Okay, I'm going to do 5 things I would do again for sure, and 5 things that I would not do, that I would avoid completely. Okay, first thing. Okay, if you have the space, okay, you definitely want to have a TV on in your garage, okay, for a lot of different reasons. Better than a tablet, better than a phone. If you have access to a spare TV, doesn't even have to be a smart TV. I didn't have a smart TV. I actually found the TV. My neighborhood had a neighborhood, uh, I guess, a trash pickup where everybody puts up old lawn chairs and stuff like that. And guess what? Somebody had a TV out there, a 50-inch TV. I think it was missing the cord. I have a box of cords, plugs, things like that, and I call it my electrical box. Plugged it in, TV turned on, had no remote. That's fine. But it turned on. I could hear the sound, so I'm like, hey, I'm halfway there. I had an old Fire Stick that I thought was not working. It was a USB little. It was the wall outlet to it. Got a new little wall USB to it. Plugged it in. Hey, it worked. But I have a TV in my garage, hooked up to my Wi-Fi. I'm able to listen to music, which is awesome. That definitely makes things go by a little bit smoother when you're there 2, 3, 4 hours working on a project. And you can find anything on YouTube. I go in there, I look at videos, and I look at different ways of people doing things. I rewind, pause, play. When I travel for work, I download the videos. I watch them in the plane. Look at I look at the way somebody does the same thing about 3 or 4 different ways, and then I come up with my way that I could possibly do it, and then I move forward. So definitely, if you have access to a TV, that is a must. Second, okay, don't try to buy. For me, I'm speaking for myself. Okay, this is what I would do again. It's better to have mediocre brands, you know, to the best brands, but have different types of tools. It's really hard to cut a piece of lumber, with a handsaw. Like a big piece of lumber, having an actual, hand. Excuse me. The right equipment. Yeah, having the right equipment. So having a drill, having a impact wrench. I use my impact wrench more than my drill. I use my drill to, of course, use drilling holes. Pre-drilling holes. But I use my actual impact wrench probably 9 out of 10 times. Um, on top of that, I have the oscillating tool. I use that quite a bit. It came with the little. I'm gonna put the description here in a little bit. It came with the little shop light that is battery operated. Um, I've used that when I'm working, under the car, and I'm in a tight spot. I need some extra light. It came with a hand saw. It came with a jigsaw. I used that a couple of times, not as much as I probably should have been using. Um, came with something else. It came with a little tool bag. That was cool. It was about $250, and it came with 5 or 6 tools. And I have used the crap out of it. I have used it over and over. I would go if I was to go back. I would 100% go back and buy. I'll put the link in the description of how much I paid. I think it was 260, 280, 5 or 6 tools. I'm definitely, now that I am getting a little bit more experience and understanding why some tools are more expensive than others, I would 100% go with a better brand. I'm cheap, so I probably won't go with the most expensive brand. I probably will go for maybe. cars are crazy. I'll probably go with with a good brand that is used. Um, so that's tip number two. Try to have the right tools. Okay. Number three. Okay, when you're battery operated is better than, for me it's 100% better than corded, because it's more mobile, and it's for me it's been more useful to have it. It's better than having an impact wrench that is with pressure, because I can't tell you how many times I've already gone through one little Craftsman. It was free, donated by my dad. It wasn't pumping. It didn't have enough air, and then the air valve wouldn't turn on. So I bought the bigger Cobalt one. That was useful, but it was still not doing what I needed to do. But the having battery operated is the way to go. It came with two little one 20 volt, one I believe it was a 30 or 40 volt. The 40 volt went out, but get extra batteries. I mean, I have now I have, I believe, three or four batteries. I should get another charger, but I'm using one. I'm charging the other one. You know, they're all charged. When one charges, I plug in the other one, so on and so forth. So I have three or four different batteries that are always full of charge, and they all go with all the tools. That's exactly why I tell you, go. Tip number two, go with the set. Number three is have the batteries, go for all of them. It's just so much easier to just switch out the battery and just keep going at it. Number three, okay, go if you are eventually you're gonna want to do something with your truck. Whether a headlight goes out, whether you want to put in some brakes, or you want to be like me, you want to lift your truck a little bit. This truck here, I lifted quite a bit. 3.5 inch lift in the back and the front. I put a leveling kit on it. I put in the HID headlights. I put in new tail lights, um, oxygen sensors, things like that. Buy yourself a nice little toolkit. They're between $50 to $150 depending on the brand, but um, try not to go with the cheapest ones there, because I've broken a few cheap tools. And here you go now. If you don't have a second car, you have to wait till your wife gets home, or find the way to get to the store and get a second one. So invest in some pretty decent mechanic tools, um, and have a variety of wrenches. Have a variety of. My truck uses metric, so I like the metric, but I also have the SAE, the SAE and metric. Metric is the even numbers. The 10, 12, 14. So on and so forth. So have a variety of different tools to use, and uh, get yourself the adapters. I bought a little. It was a cheap little right. Okay, so that's I'll give you a little recap. TV is great. Variety of tools, batteries. Fourth is mechanic tools. Get yourself a good little set of mechanic tools that you can use. And on that single note is get yourself a little adapter to put into your impact wrench. Of course, impact wrenches are for impacting bolts, and it's kind of like drives a hammer and it hits it, and drives a hammer and it hits it, drives a bolt and it hits it, hits it. So it impacts it all the way in there. It's great for pulling out really, really stubborn bolts. So eventually you're gonna find yourself needing certain tools and buying a little bit more. Like I just had to buy some deep socket tools, deep socket fucking sockets. So now I have deep sockets, regular sockets, metric, SAE, and so that's eventually it'll evolve. But yeah, having a good mechanic, good little tool set is definitely a plus. Number five, organization. Okay, I can't say enough about just being organized. Okay, have a bin for your electrical. So this is the way I did it. I have a bin for electrical cords. I have all the cords, plugs, um, you know, all anything that has electricity and cords. It's all in there. I have one for plumbing. I have PVC pipe, PVC adapters, PVC glue. I have everything to do with PVC in another bin. So if I need to find something, it's in there. I have small little bins, and I have one for electrical, and I have my multimeter in there. I have my wire cutters, wire strippers, everything that has to do with wiring, say a stereo, or wiring. I had to wire when I was doing my headlights. I couldn't find the short on it. It was a $30 multimeter, so that was great. So organization is key. I have a little compartment for just my for my electrical stuff. I have one for my now. I have one. I have a little kit, and I have one for my machine bolts. Those are the bolts that are at the end cut off. They don't drive in. Those are for screwing in, more like for mechanical work, or screwing two things in together. I have one for my actual screws. Wood screws, drywall screws, short screws, long screws, washers. Um, you know, hex nuts. So staying organized is definitely a plus. I have a drawer for my pliers, drawers for my. I have all my screwdrivers. I have my flatheads on one side. My Phillips on the others, and that has helped me quite a bit. Just going in and just knowing where everything is at. That saves me 30-40 minutes from trying to find the tools, and then that that cuts down my project, and probably by an hour, because I'm not over here trying to find everything. um, and number five, on the organization. Now I know this is hard, and I'm guilty of it, of just about as anybody else. Okay, at the end of the night, at the end of your work, whatever you're doing, put it all away. Okay, don't just say I'll do it in the morning, because you won't. Okay, and then if you don't do it the next time you go in there, you're gonna have to try to find where everything is at. Everything is gonna be scattered, and you're gonna find yourself in the same exact position that you left in, not knowing where anything's at. So at the end of the night, I've made it a point. I put everything back in its place. I wipe everything down. I sweep everything up. My compressor, I have a little blower. I blow all the dust off, sweep everything, put the trash into the trash, and then when I go in there, done. Everything's done. I go in there the next day doing a whole different project. Everything is organized. Bada bing, bada boom, like they say right up in the Northeast. But yeah, those are my top 5 tips that I definitely would do. I'm actually gonna do another section of this. I'm gonna cut this one right here, of 5 things I would not do. Okay. But yeah, like I said earlier, if you guys are liking these videos and this is bringing some type of value to you, it's saving you some money, saving you some time and hassle, or maybe just giving you some ideas. Leave a like, subscribe, send me a message. Give me ideas. Let's learn together. You know, the longest journey starts with one step, right? So just let's all work together, and then nobody knows everything. So let's help each other grow. And until next time, see you guys.